my name is Liz and welcome to the Tiny Treatery, and today I'm going to try to make Pride cake pops. It's Pride month. Last year I made a gorgeous surprise inside coming out Pride cake where you decorate the outside however you want and then you cut it open and the layers of the cake reveal a Pride flag of your choice. I thought it was a very cute idea and there's no way I was ever going to be able to top that conceptually, but I still love the idea of a little surprise inside. So I'm going to try to make cake pops with a 6-layer rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to be able to stack a bunch of layers into a little cake ball, but somebody else actually already did this online. So I want to take credit for thinking of the idea on my own, but you know, nothing's ever original and someone else has already done it, so they did something really cool to make that happen. So I'll meet you in the kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. So when I first thought of this idea, I had a bunch of cake in the freezer from a different project that I did, and I was like, this cake has been in here for quite a while. I think I should use it, and what's the best way to use old cake? Everybody knows Cakepops. But I don't really think I stored the cake properly because you're supposed to wrap each layer of cake in plastic wrap to really keep it sealed. But I just put it in these glass containers and sealed it up and was like, it'll be what it's gonna be. And when I opened them, they smelled like freezer burn. I was just scared of them. They had been in there for as long as the longest limit I found when Googling how long does frozen cake last. So I just made a new cake, but in doing that, I kind of took a risk. So when I thought of this idea, yeah, I was gonna use the old cake. The cake was what it was plain vanilla cake. And when I was thinking about how am I going to roll different layers of cake pop into a uniform ball that's not a total mess. And I saw a video online of someone doing this, and they dyed the cake before they baked it. So obviously that cake is the right color. But I wanted to try to use colored icing, since with my initial plan that was the only option I was gonna have anyway, to see if the icing will dye the cake, and then I'll have the appropriate colors of my cake ball dough that I can then work with and form into the pops. So since I started over with the cake, I could have just dyed the batter. But you know, this means that if any of you out there happen to have some plain yellow or white cake lying around that you want to do something fun with, if this works, now you have a cute idea. I'm not sure if it's interesting, but I do have some footage of me dyeing this icing, so here's that. So in order to get this process started, I'm going to cut this cake into 6 little rectangles, essentially, for each color. Probably not the most even, but honestly, that doesn't really matter. Because the red and the purple, you're gonna need less cake for those anyway because of, you know, the geometry of reality and the way that spheres work. Cake is good. So now I have to crumble all of these up and dye them individually. I bought vinyl gloves for this task, not latex. Some people are allergic to latex, so probably try not to use latex glove when you're working with food. Partially for sanitation purposes, but also just so my hands don't get icky sticky while I'm doing this. So let's make some cake ball dough. So I would say that it did work. Obviously, you know, this is red, this is orange, so on. But of course, they are duller than their original icing counterparts. And in particular, the blue, it's kind of turning green, turquoise, teal, whatever. I'm not a color expert. I guess because the cake itself was a little yellow, so that's just gonna happen. I think I could probably make them all a little more vibrant if I just added straight food coloring to them, but I'm just gonna stick with this. I think it'll get the message across just fine. So the way that they did this in the video was pretty interesting. So they took a tiny little bit of color from each one. There's our red, orange. I was a little fearful that doing it this way, as opposed to baking the color into the batter, would cause the dye to like rub off on my fingers as I was plucking out my little dough bites. But I don't know if it's the gloves or if that's just not a problem, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Yellow. I hope as I progress through this, I get a better idea of the ratios. Maybe green. The green is a lot darker than the other ones because the food coloring bottle was a little clogged and it came out as like a clot. And I just went with it, so it is what it is. Blue. Working with gloves is amazing. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. And purple. So they wrapped it up like a little ball. Ooh. All right, wait. I'm losing my way here. Squish it down a little. And then they, oh yeah, look at that. They kind of just twisted it and forced it into a ball shape. Did they freeze it in the wrap? There's a step where you freeze it after this. Because I'm like, if I untangle this now, there's no way it's gonna come out, right? Let me go check the video. No, they did not freeze it in the wrap. They twisted it up a bunch. My layers are not great. I'm not getting quite a ball shape. And then they just took it out. There's no way. Well, actually that wasn't as bad as I thought, but mine's probably a little meltier than it should be. Hey, that's not bad though. Okay, that's kind of something. And then you're supposed to put it in the freezer, which I guess I'll just put this one in by its lonesome. Oh my God, I forgot about her. No. Okay, so that was like not the best, but I hope I can get a handle on it as I go on. There's no way I need as many cake pops as this amount of dough is gonna make, so if I have some duds, I have some duds. I'm gonna hope to manifest like 6 cute ones. That's all I need for like a cute thumbnail, so that's my goal. Let's go. I have 12 somewhat round, not at all really, none of them are round, somewhat rainbow balls of cake. So I was rewatching the video that was showing how to use this little saran wrap technique to get it round. And I was just like, how are they making it so round? It doesn't make any sense because mine is like cinching at the top and creating this like clover type effect. But then I had like an Anne Reardon moment. I don't know if you know who that is. Huge YouTube channel called How to Cook That, and she kind of like debunks myths about food that can appear on social media. And often that involves showing like these tips and tricks and little hacks for desserts and debunking why they don't work because she knows a lot about food science. I don't know. She has some qualifications. I don't know what they are. Anyway, the training I've acquired and watching her videos kind of kicked in, and I noticed there was a little bit of a jump cut. So they twist this thing up and then they start to unwrap it and then there's a cut and it's round. So I kind of have to imagine that after they take it out of the plastic wrap, they did a little bit of smoothing and rounding to make it look as gorgeous as it did. So I ultimately gave up on the plastic wrap thing and I just started doing them by hand. And you know, they don't look good, but I don't know if that's avoidable when it comes to living in a 3D world because they weighed themselves down and got flat on the bottom. So, you know, I just think that's what it is. I don't know how people make perfectly round cake pops unless they have a mold. Next step, I bought some candy coating. This goes in the microwave. I've used it in another video, very easy to use. So remove it from the film, put it in the microwave, and turn your microwave to 50% power. very clearly instructed on the back. Do not use high power, it'll probably scorch it. Then when you take it out, it doesn't look all the way melted, but it is. Or mostly. This is almost all the way melted. I think if I stir it up, the heat within itself will melt the rest. I'm trying to decide if I think this is running smoothly enough to just work, or if I need to thin it with some more oil. I mean, it's candy coating, right? Shouldn't it be designed for this purpose? What are the pictures on the front? Yeah, we have some Cakepops. They're claiming that this is possible. Decoration-wise, I have 2 different sets of sprinkles. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, but rainbow sprinkles, they are not really rainbow. I don't know if that's because they don't want to look gay or like what is going on with that, but they don't include purple, and they have pink, and then they have like white and brown, which I guess is fine because those are like neutral colors, but like it's like they specifically don't have Roy-G Biv, you know? These little round ones, I don't know what they're called, non-Periels or something, I counted. I found the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple, but there's also pink. So I still feel like, you know, that's not necessarily a problem. In a way, you know, they have the white, pink, and the blue, so that's like maybe the trans flag. And then they have like the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So that's like the gay rainbow. But I'm kind of under the impression that that's not what they're going for when they design this. This, I also counted for all the Roy-G Biv colors, but then they also have pink and white. So I don't know if they're going to be giving gayness on the outside, but that's what the surprise inside is for. So let's decorate. So welcome to the taste test table. So I think covering these went really well. The candy coating worked out great. So I used the, what is it, non-Periels? I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I used the little round beady sprinkles for most of them because I thought it looked better. I did one with my sanding sugar sprinkles, but I just don't really like the look of those as much. But you know, if you ever do this, it's up to you. It's up to what you want to do. So, truth be told, I did bite into 2 of them already because I wanted a picture for my thumbnail. In the first one I bit into, I was a little nervous, but the way that I bit, like the candy coating, the red kind of gets covered, you really can't see much of that at all. So I was like, well, that can't be the thumbnail because that's not really representing all the colors. And then I bit another one and I was like, what if I have to bite into all of these? And none of them work. This one I think worked out. You can see all the colors nicely. I wish the bite was like a little prettier of a shape. It's kind of lumpy, but hopefully that doesn't deter too many people from clicking the video, I don't know. But all in all, I'm impressed that it worked at all because as you may or may not have been able to tell when I was rolling them, like the edges were just all sorts of out of whack. But I guess in the actual center, things kind of were just like layered evenly because that's what I was doing when I was squishing the layers of dough together. Technically, I didn't fully taste test these 2 because I bit them and then spit it out just so that I would be able to do like a little bit more real of a taste test on camera. To be honest, I did eat one last night, so it's actually lying no matter what, but my palate is at least fresh from my overnight sleep and I didn't really eat the bites that I took out of these. They're on a plate here. So now I'll really try one. There isn't much to say though, you know. I would say it's a little candy coating forward. So what I did with the one I ate last night was I kind of ate around the candy coating so that at the end I had like just the cake part. Let's see if I can try to do that. All right, I have gnawed most of the candy coating away. Yeah, I mean, honestly, not much to report. It's just tasty vanilla cake with tasty vanilla buttercream and a relatively tasty, though not quite as tasty, candy coating. But as is the case with every taste test on YouTube ever, I mean, really, what's in it for you? Whether this tastes good or like anything at all? All you want to see is the cute colors, and I hope I delivered on that front. Verdict on this: you can use colored frosting to dye already baked vanilla cake to the colors you want. You can, in fact, get relatively solid looking layers inside of a cake pop And I don't have 3 conclusions. I wanted 3 conclusions because I think that's a better number. If you want to try this out, I think it's very easy, and you can do, like I did last year, a different flag. Whatever kind of surprise you want to have inside your cake pop, you can make it happen. Thanks for watching, happy Pride Month, and subscribe for more tiny treats.